Here's the thing nobody tells you about octopuses. They live at every depth of this ocean, every single layer. And the deeper they go, the less they look like anything you've ever seen. This is one of them. 9 brains, 3 hearts, blood the color of a bruise. Already the strangest animal on the planet. And that's before the ocean starts doing things to it. Because it's as if evolution reached into these animals and just kept pulling, deeper, darker, stranger, until what comes out the other end barely resembles what went in. By the time we reach the bottom of this video, you're going to see an octopus sitting on the floor of a trench so deep that the pressure would liquefy your bones, and it's going to be moving, still hunting, in the dark, at the bottom of the world. The question isn't whether that's disturbing. The question is why. Why does this keep happening? And why are octopuses, specifically, so extreme in how the deep transforms them? To understand that, we have to go zone by zone, layer by layer, and we have to start where the light still reaches, because what happens when it disappears is the whole point. This is the version you know, the one that went viral opening a jar, the one scientists have filmed playing with Legos, solving puzzles, recognizing individual human faces. The common octopus, Octopus vulgaris, lives in this sunlit layer, in warm coastal shallows, typically weighing about 3 kilograms, with arms spanning maybe 90 centimeters. It changes color in milliseconds. It squeezes through gaps the size of a quarter. It has a brain-to-body ratio comparable to some vertebrates. It's smart enough to learn by watching other octopuses, which, for an animal with no social structure, is genuinely wild. This is the friendly version. This is the one that stares back at you at the aquarium. But here's where it gets disturbing, because the deeper you go, the less any of that applies. Even here, the behavior is more unsettling than most people realize. The common octopus is an ambush predator. It waits, camouflaged, completely motionless, sometimes for hours, then explodes out at speeds that exceed its own arm length in 1/10 of a second, pinning crabs and fish with suckers that can each exert 30 newtons of force. Each sucker operates independently. You could cut an arm off a living octopus and it would keep grabbing things for an hour. That's at the surface. Now descend to 200 meters past where sunlight dies and the octopus starts to change. Welcome to the twilight zone. This is where bioluminescence begins, where the ocean starts to produce its own light. And some octopuses here have adapted in a way that's genuinely strange. They've developed photophores, light-producing organs distributed across their mantle and arms, capable of generating patterns of blue-green light. The Japatella diaphana lives at this depth. It's about the size of a tennis ball. Its body is almost entirely transparent. You can see through it like sea glass. And under UV light, it turns from invisible to a vivid, iridescent orange in under a second. That's not a metaphor. It literally changes from see-through to glowing orange. Scientists from the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute documented this in 2015 and still don't fully understand why. At this depth, pressure starts to matter. It's 20 to 100 times what you feel at sea level. The octopuses here have begun to lose some of the rigid musculature of their surface cousins. Their arms move differently, slower, more deliberate, conserving energy in water where food is already scarce. They don't chase prey here, they drift toward it. What happens next is even worse, because below 1,000 meters, the body starts doing things that shouldn't be possible. The midnight zone. No sunlight, ever. Pressure between 100 and 400 atmospheres, enough to crush a submarine hull designed for shallow water. Temperature hovering just above freezing. And the octopuses here have become something genuinely disturbing. Meet Octopuses, the Dumbo octopus, named for the ear-like fins on its head that look almost cartoonish in shallow water footage. But the deep-sea versions aren't cute. They reach up to 1.8 meters long. Their arms are partially webbed, forming a skirt beneath their body, and they move through the water not by jet propulsion, the typical octopus escape mechanism, but by slowly flapping those ear fins, gliding through total darkness, like something from a nightmare you can't describe when you wake up. Their eyes are enormous relative to their body, enormous, unblinking, almost featureless, adapted to detect the faintest trace of bioluminescent light, because that's the only way to find prey or avoid being eaten down here. No pupils, just wide, pale orbs. Dumbo octopuses hunt by sitting, completely motionless on the seafloor or hovering just above it and waiting. Then, when something comes close, The webbed arms expand outward like an umbrella opening and close over the prey instantly. Scientists from NOAA's Deep Discoverer expeditions have recorded this. The whole sequence takes less than half a second. They swallow their food whole. Down here, chewing wastes energy. You take everything in one motion or you starve. Can this hurt you? Technically, no. Dumbo octopuses live at depths humans will never casually visit. But the fact that they're down there, hunting, waiting, in complete darkness, doing this, is unsettling in a way that goes beyond physical danger. But if you descend even further, you hit a zone where size stops making sense. The abyss. Most of the deep ocean floor sits at this depth, vast, flat, nearly lifeless plains stretching for thousands of kilometers. Pressure up to 600 atmospheres. Temperature between 2 and 4 degrees Celsius. Essentially zero food. Animals here burn as little energy as possible. They move slowly. They reproduce slowly. They grow slowly. But some of them grow big. Researchers on the Schmidt Ocean Institute's Falkor 2 expedition, just in 2023, filmed a species of glass octopus, Vitreladonella richardi, so transparent its own organs were visible from the outside. Its digestive gland glowed faintly in the lights of the ROV. Its optic nerves were visible as pale threads behind those massive, pale eyes. But it's the Haliphron atlanticus, the 7-arm octopus, that makes your brain stall. It's not actually named correctly. It has 8 arms like every octopus, but the males keep one arm coiled in a pouch beneath one eye, hidden, used exclusively for mating. Externally, you only ever see 7. It weighs up to 75 kilograms. Its arm span can reach 4 meters. It feeds on jellyfish the size of trash can lids. This next creature breaks all the rules, because at the very bottom, we find an octopus that shouldn't exist at all. At these depths, even predation changes. The 7-arm octopus has been documented wrapping around jellyfish and simply holding on, suffocating them slowly, preventing any escape, waiting for the prey to stop moving before beginning to feed. No rush. Time means nothing at 4,000 meters. The cold slows everything. The dark removes urgency. These animals have been found with stomach contents that include fish, crustaceans, and gelatinous organisms, a generalist's diet, because at this depth, you eat whatever you can find, whatever barely drifts into range. The Hadal Zone. The deepest ocean trenches. The Mariana, the Tonga, the Philippine, where the seafloor drops to 11,000 meters and pressure reaches 1,100 atmospheres. Water column pressing down with a force that would turn your body into a fine paste. For decades, scientists assumed cephalopods, octopuses, and squid simply didn't live here. The pressure was assumed to be incompatible with the biochemistry that makes their nervous systems work. Then, in 2020, researchers analyzing data from hadal expeditions found evidence of cephalopod presence in the Mariana Trench at depths exceeding 6,000 meters. And in 2024, footage from a remotely operated vehicle in the Atacama Trench captured what appeared to be a small octopus, barely 15 centimeters, translucent, moving slowly along the sediment at nearly 8,000 meters depth. Massive, nightmare fuel, an octopus at 8,000 meters, sitting on the bottom of the world. We don't fully understand what it's doing down there. At this depth, metabolic rate in most animals is near zero. They move perhaps once an hour. Finding prey is almost accidental. But the octopus was moving, actively crawling along the seafloor, arms exploring crevices in the sediment, hunting or at least looking. The pressure at that depth doesn't crush this animal. Its body has no gas-filled cavities, no swim bladder, no air sacs. It's almost entirely water and protein, and its biochemistry, specifically an enzyme called TMAO that stabilizes proteins under extreme pressure, allows it to function where nothing should be able to function. An octopus. At the bottom of the world, still hunting. Here's why all of this happens, and it comes down to 4 things working together in the worst possible combination. Light. Remove light and eyes either become useless, which is why some abyssal species have reduced eyes or none at all, or they become extreme, growing enormous to catch every available photon. Octopuses, which rely on vision more than most invertebrates, have gone the second route. The deeper you go, the bigger and more specialized the eyes. Pressure. Every 10 meters of depth adds roughly 1 atmosphere of pressure. At 4,000 meters, you're at 400 atmospheres. Rigid structures fail under this. Shells, hard exoskeletons, gas bladders. Octopuses, which have almost no rigid internal structures, are already pre-adapted for this. Their softness is an advantage. Their bodies compress rather than shatter, and their biochemistry, specifically those TMAO enzymes, shifts to stabilize proteins that would otherwise unfold and stop working. Food scarcity. The deep ocean runs on what scientists call marine snow, a slow, constant rain of dead organic matter drifting down from above. It's not much. Animals at depth need to either eat rarely and conserve energy obsessively, or develop strategies to catch whatever does pass through. Octopuses have done both. They've slowed their metabolisms, expanded their diets to include anything edible, and in some cases, developed passive umbrella hunting behavior, using their webbed arms as a trap rather than expending energy in pursuit. Temperature. Near freezing water slows chemical reactions. At depth, octopuses are metabolically running in slow motion. Their hearts beat slower, their neurons fire slower, their digestion slows, but their lifespan may increase. Cold water cephalopods can live longer than their warm water cousins, simply because every biological process is running at a fraction of normal speed. The most extreme octopus currently documented is the volcan octopus hydrothermalis, a species that lives not in the open ocean, but directly on hydrothermal vents on the deep sea floor. The water immediately surrounding the vent where this octopus lives is still near freezing. The heat disperses fast, but the chemistry is lethal. Hydrogen sulfide, heavy metals, zero oxygen in the immediate vicinity of the vent. Most animals would die within seconds. Volcanoctopus hydrothermalis doesn't. It lives there, on purpose, feeding on the chemosynthetic bacteria and tube worms that colonize the vents. A small, pale, nearly blind octopus sitting at 2,600 meters in a chemically toxic environment on the side of a volcanic crack in the ocean floor. Terrifying. And genuinely beautiful. The word alien gets thrown around too easily, but if you showed this animal to a marine biologist from 1950 and told them it lived on Earth, they wouldn't have believed you. Start at the surface. A smart, colorful, curious animal solving puzzles and recognizing faces. Descend to the twilight zone. It turns transparent, starts to glow, learns to drift instead of chase. Go deeper. The eyes grow to the size of headlights. The arms develop webs that become traps. The body rewires itself for cold and pressure. Deeper still, it reaches 75 kilograms, moves through total darkness at glacial speed, swallows prey whole. And at the very bottom, at depths that should be incompatible with complex life, it's still there, still hunting, still moving through the dark. The same animal, 5 completely different creatures. What I keep coming back to is the footage from the Atacama Trench. A camera lowered nearly 8,000 meters on a cable, an ROV moving across grey sediment in total silence, and then, in the far edge of the frame, a small pale shape, 8 arms, moving slowly but deliberately along the bottom of the world. It doesn't know the camera is there, it doesn't know we exist. It has been down there, or something like it has been down there, for millions of years, longer than our genus, longer than recognizable humans, in the dark, in the cold, at the bottom of the deepest places on Earth. And we almost didn't look. The thing is, octopuses aren't the only animal doing this. Squid change even more dramatically by depth. Sharks found in abyssal zones look almost nothing like their surface relatives. And fish, don't get me started on the fish. Because there's a fish that lives in the hadal zone that has evolved a skull so thin you can see its brain through it. A fish with no scales, skin translucent as wax paper, that spends its entire life at the bottom of the Mariana Trench feeding on shrimp. That one's next.